So, with that in mind, I mean, what was it like beginning to start writing for this album?
Oh, it was different because, we've, up until now, I think this was our fifth or sixth album, but all the previous albums have been done the same way. So when we started talking about making a new album after the previous one, Sunbound, the first thing that we all agreed upon was to make it, let's do something different, in the ways of, what comes, when it comes to the process of writing and recording. And the first step was obvious, it was to get in touch with somebody outside the band to take care of the production duties, and this is the first time we've ever used a producer, and it really paid off.
And what was that like for the first time, being able to use an outside producer like that? I mean, I of course know the band has been so DIY when it comes to that, but what was it like being able to bring an outside source like that?
It was really cool because, everybody kind of took the kind of mindset and attitude, like, okay, guys, let's this is the way we're gonna do the album this time, and everybody get ready for it. And actually we had to kind of push our producer to kind of take the lead, and he was a bit cautious about bringing in his ideas because he kind of knew the band inside out, and he's a good friend of ours, so we had to kind of kick him a bit to really get into that producer's working mode.
So thinking about that, like, what were his ideas that he had for the album amongst your guys' ideas to be able to change things up a bit?
It was pretty clear because me and the keyboard player, we always come up with the songwriting. So that's exactly what we did this time too. We just gave him the skeleton of what we had, and he kind of took it and put the meat around the bone, so to speak. So, but yeah, I mean, he brought a lot to the table. He came up with some really cool ideas for certain parts, melody lines. I mean, we had some 24-hour lead vocal sessions in the studio with him, and just basically sat down and rewrote a lot of the lyrics at some point to a particular song. And so yeah, his contribution for the album was outstanding.
Oh, and it's so great to see that too, because especially when you start to make a change like that, especially with how far into the career of the band that you guys have been, I mean, being able to have that rejuvenation, wanting to be able to change things up a bit, see what happens if you try something new, like getting an outside producer to be able to contribute to the band, especially someone that you know and trust. I mean, it's great to be able to see that the outcome like that can turn out as well as it has too, because when you look at it from the previous albums, it is different enough, but it still sounds like the band. But it's great to be able to see new ideas coming into the band and showing that creativity is still going strong.
Yeah, and to be able to do it like what the result is, I think we managed to come up with something that still has that very strong Brother Firetribe kind of identity, if you wish. What's kind of built around the band throughout. I mean, we started as early as 2006, so up to this point, if a band has been together for that long, you're bound to have some kind of identity, and we didn't want to lose that. I mean, it's a real thin line. If a band wants to take a step forward and change something, you might end up losing all the old fans and not gaining any new ones, and there are a lot of examples of that, but I think we kind of avoided that, where the album is very much Brother Firetribe with this nice little new twist to it, which I think we managed to pull that off really well.
So with it in mind, I mean, what was it like when you were starting to hear back the mixing and the mastering of this album, and just knowing that being able to add a little bit of different life into the band? I mean, what was it like to be able to hear that back in full form for the first time?
It was great, and not just after listening to the final product, after the master version came out, but it was kind of apparent already when we were recording it, because there are stuff there that came through our producer, because his songwriting methods and his views on how to treat a melody is a lot different from what we come up with naturally. So it was apparent that this is going to be different this time. And of course, there's the factor that we had a lineup change, and our guitarist kind of had to step down from the band, and there's a new guy with us now, and that's obviously a huge change also, which makes a huge difference. I mean, using a producer and a new guitarist, a new sound, a new style, his guitar playing style, it's so different that that changes the whole thing about the band. But so yeah, it's basically, this album kind of marks a new era for the band in a lot of ways.
Oh yes, and I was going to be bringing that up as well too. I mean, obviously with a huge change happening like that as well. I mean, with being able to change guitarists as well. I mean, what was it like being able to go out and look for a new guitarist, being able to fill those big shoes like that?
Oh, it was easy as hell because, we're all grown-up men, and we sat down with Ample, our previous guitarist, and it just became apparent that, the old way of working out things would be a lot harder, and it would have not been fair for anybody involved if we'd gone on the old way. So, we just, Ample is still very much around. He's still a great friend, and there's no bad blood at all. So, I just called up because I play and sing for a living, and I'd known this. I played with Rope, our new guitarist, every now and then in different lines of, doing cruise ships and private parties and what have you, just to make a living. And I knew his style, I knew his sound, and I knew what he's like as a person, and I thought he's a great fit. And I pretty much immediately called him up, and that phone call took about 30 seconds, and he was in the band. And the next thing I did was just to inform the other guys that, oh, by the way, guys, we have a guitarist. Trust me on this.
Oh, that's just so cool. And yeah, I mean, being able to have those connections like that, especially when it's outside this particular band as well, too, just knowing that music community is strong like that, and you were able to be able to find someone like that easy, and just knowing that it was going to work out so well, because it really does work out so well on this album.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I had no doubts at all. And he was, he's like something like 97 years younger than the rest of us. So it was just funny that, he confessed that when he was a kid, he used to listen to our first albums. And we're like, shut the fuck up. We're not that old, but yes, we are. And so it was cool for him also because, to be in a band that he listened to when he was growing up, as sad as it sounds from our part, but, what can you do?
Oh, absolutely. And going back into that, too, I mean, it's hard not to have that kind of rejuvenation going on when you do have a new guitarist like that, especially someone who grew up with the band, with his musicality. I mean, being a fan absolutely from the first album and now actually being a part of the band, it's hard not to have that kind of rejuvenation a part of it.
Yeah, of course. It's it's a shot in the arm for the band. It's obvious. You get a new rush, and you just itching to go out there and show people what we've got. And unfortunately, it's just funny that now that we have all the time and all the time in the world to do anything we like and whenever we want to do, but it's just how the world is right now. It's we're sitting home basically, but that's life. And the thing, we're at the mindset of ready, set, and just waiting for the word go, and then we'll just take off like a fucking bullet from a gun.
Oh, absolutely. And I can only imagine that first time being able to get up on a real stage, being able to play in front of people again, despite everything that's been going on this year and potentially in next year. I just know how great of a feeling that's going to be when you can finally promote this new album in that live setting and just being able to play in front of a live crowd again.
Oh, come on. I mean, that's why we do this. I mean, everything else is secondary. Let's put it that way. I mean, playing live to a bunch of people who appreciate what you're doing, there's nothing better than that. And that's why we put out albums and all that. Because, it's not a money-making machine or anything, but just to get a kick out of playing live, that's the best thing in the world.
Oh, absolutely. And the more that I do listen to the album too, it's like I can't wait to hear that in that live setting as well too, especially when you compare it to the back catalog. I mean, it's going to be so cool to see how you incorporate the new songs into the set list when that eventually happens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I mean, the next step for us is basically because we can't, we're going to put the album out in a week or so, and we can't get out there to play in front of people. So what we're going to do is put the album out, and instead of hitting the stage, we're going to hit the rehearsal room and try to make sense of all these new songs and just hammer them into a good shape, and then we're just waiting for the green light.
Oh, absolutely. So that with mind, I mean, it's great to be able to see that some singles have been still be able to be released to be able to promote the album, and it's great to see that the album is still going to be coming out next week. But with that in mind, I mean, what was it like to have to, in a year like this, with everything that's going on, I mean, how does it feel to be able to put out an album during these times?
Oh, we thought about that a lot, and I think because the situation was so weird and bad before the summer, I think we postponed the release to what it is right now. And there was some talk about, postponing it even further. But then again, we started thinking about, the whole situation and how people are just fed up with everything that's going on. So we thought that, okay, we have a great product in our hands, and times are tough. And one of the things that's always been a part of Brother Firetribe for some reason is that, Brother Firetribe's, the music just seems to have that uplifting feel, kind of quality that makes people feel good. So we're thinking like, what the hell? Let's put the album out and just, trust that there'll be a better day, and a day will come when we can all just go out there and enjoy the songs together. But so we decided to put it out and in hopes of the album making people feel good.
Yeah, and that's why I'm even happier to see that this album is still coming out. I mean, I can absolutely imagine next year we're gonna hear a lot of music that's really reflective of everything that everybody's been going through this year, and I just imagine that's going to be a lot of dark, introspective, or even just like a worldwide dark kind of feeling. But we still need music of Brother Firetribe and bands like that to be able to show that there are good things out there in the world, still want to be able to have that good uplifting feeling behind it. And that's exactly what you guys continue to do with the band. Just a little bit of a twist this time around, but it's just like that passion, that positivity is still coming through so strong. And it's hard not to feel better and have a bit of a smile on your face when you're listening to this album, because it's just, we need something like this in 2020, and yeah, I mean, you guys absolutely delivered on that.
Thank you so much. That's really good to hear. And it's just like you said, I think it's equally important to put out the kind of stuff that's uplifting and more on the positive side, and just as important as it is to put out some really aggressive and dark, angry kind of stuff that people can, kind of vent out their frustration and everything. But, I think both are equally important.
Oh, very much so. So, with that in mind, I mean, obviously being able to still be able to promote the album in 2020 and being able to get the name out there, singles are so important when it comes to the album. I mean, what was it like having to decide what singles were going to be the ones to show off this album and to make videos for?
That's always so difficult for us to choose. We're too close to the songs, and this time it was no exception. I mean, I just kind of put my hands up in the air, like somebody else can decide. I'm okay with everything. I think all in all, I just feel strongly about the album. So whatever somebody decided on, I was okay with that. I gotta be honest.
Oh yeah, and with that said, I mean, I really do love the way it was made with that too. I mean, being able to see songs like Night Drive, like Bring on the Rain. I mean, it's great to be able to see what you guys were able to do with videos like that, and just being able to see how they came out. I mean, both of them have a very different feel to it, especially with the colors that come along with it, and I really like it for that reason.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, I mean, Bring on the Rain, let's start with that. I mean, that was just, the idea was basically just to do a lyric video, or whatever they're called nowadays. Not a proper, music video, but then right at the last second, somebody had this idea of, dragging my ass up to the studio and take some shots of me singing the song. And the result kind of looks like a music video, even though it's supposed to be just a lyric video for YouTube. But it turned out pretty nice and kind of cool. And then it was time to do a proper video, and we thought, Night Drive, we put it out as a single. It's not your average, Brother Firetribe single, to be honest. It's kind of the moodier side of things. So, but we had our trust on the song and felt that it's pretty strong, and people just have patience to check it out a couple of times. So yeah, we started filming, and we had this idea about of a guy who drives around every night because he can't sleep, and we wanted to we went after that kind of 70s kind of style. I think we managed to pull it off pretty nicely with especially with the budget that we had, because the music video budget are not what they used to. Let's put it out. So yeah, it was a job well done, and we loved the mystique about it and how it came out. The song itself is pretty cinematic. So actually that kind of sparked the idea, because the result was so good in our ears and eyes. That sparked the idea of making another kind of extra project, and we started shooting a short movie based on that character from the Night Drive video, and it's on the editing table right now as we're talking, and I'm just excited about it. We managed to get a lot of well-established Finnish actors in it, and that tells the story of that Night Drive guy, like why he's driving around every night. So, but more on that later. I mean, it's bound to come out after the album, but I'm really excited about it.
Oh, that's so cool to see that song in particular and that video in particular is now being able to get fleshed out more, because it does leave you with a lot of questions, especially the more you watch it, the more you wonder why it turned out the way that it did, and the fact that you were already ahead of that, thinking about wanting to make a short film about that. I mean, that is just so cool.
Yeah, and not a lot of bands do that, so we thought that, okay, what else is there to do? I mean, we have a chance to do this, so why the hell not? I mean, even if it bombs or people don't like it and blah blah blah, but Jesus Christ, at least we did something. And it's always great to have a focus on something, even if the idea itself is crazy, it's no batshit crazy, but I just love the fact that we did it.
Oh, absolutely, and being able to take those chances too. I mean, obviously being able to have so much change within the band, from the lineup, a bit of the sound, and now being able to go off into different kinds of territory now, being able to go into film and being able to show it off that way. I mean, the fact that you were able to take something in this situation like 2020 and being able to just expand what the band can be is just incredible to see that. And I can't wait to see that short film and see how it came out.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, I mean, I'm proud of the fact that we've been so, active during this crazy time, and it's obviously helped us a lot, just to have a focus. I mean, being totally unemployed, of course, that's pretty heavy on your nerves and everything, but it helps to have a focus, something like we've done with Brother Firetribe throughout the whole year. So it's been really helpful.
Oh, I can absolutely imagine. And thinking about that as well too, I mean, the fact that things are connected the way that they are, and you are able to progress with all these different ideas going on within the band. I really do appreciate the fact that the album cover really does reflect like that Night Drive feel to it as well too, because it's like you look at the town, you look at the city, you see all those lights that are coming through at night, and it really does just give you that kind of feel behind it too, and it kind of lets you know what you're getting into within the album as well too, because I think it, even beyond Night Drive, like it really reflects the album quite well.
Oh man, I'm getting goosebumps here, man. Yeah, that's just so to the point. I mean, that's exactly what we were after with the whole title and how the cover came about. It's just, that's exactly what we mean by Feel the Burn. I mean, you get that excitement and feel like there's some kind of adventure ahead of you or something like that. But yeah, I really appreciate you noticed that.
Oh yeah, I love being able to spot those little details behind it. I mean, whether it's in the music videos, whether it's in the artwork, whether it's in the lyrics, it's like I love being able to find those tidbits, because it helps you appreciate the full album more rather than just checking out the singles and thinking of all the other songs as B-sides. I like being able to check out the whole album from start to finish and just getting that vibe behind it. I mean, whether it's a collections of songs, whether it's thematically, whatever the case is, and just being able to seeing an album cover like that and can just kind of get that vibe of what's going on, and then you actually listen to it, you see how well it fits together.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm old school. I'm just like you. I mean, I still appreciate the album format itself, even though it's, I don't know if kids even know today what an album is. It's all about one song after another. But, I mean, it's okay. And I understand, the way we did it, right, with this album. I mean, I think we put out 4 songs in advance to all these streaming platforms. I guess you call them syncs. You do. But still, I see an album as a whole. It has a middle section and it has an ending, and everything that the cover art, the texts within the booklet and all that. It's I like that, and I still think an album is a great form of art as a form.
Oh, absolutely, and I can't wait to see how that's going to turn out in a vinyl version of that too. I mean, being able to see that blown up, being able to open it and see that text available like on the inside, and seeing what other art or photography is going to be going on behind it, the back cover, just all of that, and seeing how it all fits together in that package.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing with the physical vinyl or even CD. I'm still a big fan of especially vinyl. I think for the past over 10 years, that's pretty much all I've been buying when it comes to music. But times change, and you can't really fight it more than you can. But all these streaming platforms and all these, from thinking about from the consumer's point of view, it's just genius. And I use them because of what I do, obviously, and all that. But if I just want to, kick back and take some time to check out music and listen to music, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna go to my room and run a vinyl album down and have a glass of.
Oh, that just sounds so perfect too. And the fact that we do live in that day and age where we can do that, and obviously, it's so different for the bands, the labels, of artists. I mean, obviously, it's so different now than it was a decade, 2 decades ago. But just like you said, from the consumer side, whether you're in music and checking out for yourself, or you're just a fan of music, I mean, being able to have all that at your fingertips and just being able to select the different moods that you're kind of feeling, either listening to an album in full or just putting different songs together or a curated playlist or whatever the case is, just being able to sit down, relax, and just like you said, being able to drink some wine and being able to just kick back and relax listening to that. It's an incredible thing that we can experience right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I have, from that point of view, I have nothing against it. Quite on the contrary. But, it's just unfortunate that I'm also on the other side of things, and no matter how much of my music gets played on these platforms, I'm not gonna benefit from it ever, not 1 cent. but so that's unfair. Of course it is, but that's just the way of the world right now, and can't really fight it. I'm just waiting for things to change and somebody paying more attention to that too.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And I really do wish that was the case when it comes to streaming, being able to have that the fairness in being able to get the royalties and streaming counts and stuff like that, because with so many people using that more than the physical product, I really do feel like the bands and the artists and the songwriters deserve all of the credit they normally would when it comes to the physical releases as well too, and hopefully one day that will change.
Yeah, I think it's going to a better direction, but it just seems to be a really slow process.
Oh, absolutely. But, one day I do feel like it is going to happen. And, the fact that you can have an album like Feel the Burn coming out next week, and, just the quality of the album from start to finish, and some people just like going through something like Spotify, for example, and just being able to see the title, maybe feeling intrigued enough to be able to check you out for the first time if they haven't before, and then just seeing what you're all about that way. I mean, I think it's so cool that can happen, and then hopefully that can lead to like buying the physical product, being able to buy some merchandise, and of course being able to see the band live.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's that's one of the good things about I mean, if you see an ad that there's this album Feel the Burn is out, and go check it out. And it takes you like 2 seconds to check it out. And if you like it, then you'll know the band, and you start following the band, and things just lead up to better things. So it's all good in that sense.
Oh, absolutely. And I really hope that does start to happen starting next week. And, I think with that, I think that's a great note to end on as well, too. I mean, just hopefully with that optimism of more people being able to check out the band now, thanks to Spotify continuing to grow and other streaming platforms being able to grow as well, and just seeing the band grow as well too when it comes to Feel the Burn, and seeing everything that we've been talking about, from lyrically, artistically, the music videos, the music itself, and the band itself. I mean, it's great to see everything that is going on with the band right now in 2020, and hopefully starting next year, things will be able to get back to some kind of normalcy, being able to play these songs live and just really get that feeling of what Brother Firetribe is all about again.
Oh, amen, Josh. You hit the nail on the head. Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, once again, thank you very much for taking the time to be able to talk to me about all this. It was fantastic to talk about this great album with Feel the Burn being able to come out next week through OM&N label services, and it was great to be able to get your perspective behind it. And yeah, I can't wait for more people to be able to check this out next week and see what you guys are all about in 2020.
Hey, thank you so much, Josh. I really appreciate the whole spreading the word. There are not too many people out there who do what you do, so thank you very much. And it was really cool to talk.
Well, absolutely. It's my absolute pleasure to be able to do that and promote music that I really do care about and I really do enjoy. And this was a great talk. And one last time, thank you very much for taking the time to be able to do this.
All right, perfect. Now you stay safe out there and take it easy.
You as well.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Bye.